Welcome back to the Midweek Breakdown. Hey, it's the AntMan, along with Brandon Stevens, Dalton Miller, and let's talk Grand Slams. Not talking about baseball, though. Isn't that interesting that we can talk about Grand Slams and be talking about golf? Rory McIlroy getting his Grand Slam after winning the Masters, and Nike was ready with the ad. How about that?
Oh, that ad was awesome. Was awesome.
That marketing team is impeccable. They had that ready. So, hey, just in case.
They don't miss. Nike does not miss on their ads.
Yeah.
They just don't miss. I mean, it was a great ad.
Dalton, I didn't even think to look, but did you have money on Roy on Prize Picks?
No, I did not.
Okay. Just checking.
Did you put it on Scheffler?
No, I didn't put anything down.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
No, nothing. Golf's such a weird, when you look at splits and like ratings and just figuring out like if you're going to go for an outright winner, golf is just so different when it comes to that. And there were a few guys that I thought, I mean, you look, Justin Rose started out really hot. Then Bryson DeChambeau takes the lead late.
Yep.
Rory gets it back. Scheffler makes a push. Rose makes the playoff. Like, it was so up and down. Like, who is going to be? I mean, for a second, Rory had a 3-hole stretch where you didn't even think he was going to be in the top 2.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
This Masters was so up and down, and you know, I'm happy for Rory. Bryson's my favorite golfer. He's kind of got that Baker Mayfield-esque about him, which is what I love. I'm just partial to it.
Mm-hmm.
That type of character on any type of competitor, I'm all for. And Rory annoys the crap out of me.
Oh, I love Rory.
Well, I do too. One of my favorite golfers. But like, I mean, they were interviewing Bryson after. I go back to the U.S. Open where Rory just botches it. I mean, gives it away. Bryson's in the bunker. Has to go up and down out of the bunker. Horrible bunker lie. Not a good bunker shot. Bryson pulls it off, goes up and down, wins the U.S. Open because Rory missed a putt, 3 feet that could have sent it to a playoff. Rory dips, mad, won't say anything, any of that stuff. You get Bryson though. I mean, he's the crowd guy. He's hyping everybody up. He's okay to talk throughout the event. Yeah, I mean, he's okay to talk throughout the event, and he's just more loose, and he enjoys the atmosphere. And after it, they interview Bryson. Bryson loses. A lot of class with his interview. Like, just it's great. I got to learn from it. And he actually had some comments positive towards Rory. What the heck was going on? He thought Rory had it for a while, and then of course Rory had that stretch where he didn't, and then he's like, "Frick, is Rose going to win this thing?" Like, but he just mentioned they asked him, what was Rory saying? He's like, Rory wouldn't say a word to me. Rory wouldn't talk to him. Rory wouldn't say a word. Even when Rory lost last year, Rory wouldn't do an interview. So some of that stuff bothers me with Rory. Like, dude, I get it. If it was Scheffler, you would have. If it was a guy in the PGA, you would have. I think there's still that rival, that like upsetness of you left the PGA and you went to LIV and all that stuff.
I think that's big.
Yeah.
I think that's a big player in it. I think that's why DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka and those guys just don't seem like the PGA guys like them anymore. Yeah. And I get it. I get it to a point. But at the same time, you're all professional golfers.
Even honestly, I got annoyed with Justin Rose multiple times throughout the tournament. Rosie. Did you guys know it's pronounced Rosie? I did not know that.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah. I was listening to the post interview when they were done with the ceremony and they were talking about the playoff, and I heard fans calling it out. And I thought it was like a nickname, like they were just calling him Rosie. No, it's pronounced Rosie. I didn't know that. But anyways, he'd be like almost ready through his warm up. Check it out.
I'm typing it up
on CBS. They were all saying Justin Rosie. Every single one of them. But he'd be like through his little pre-hit, and then he'd get ready to swing, and he'd back away, and he'd say something to whoever was working that hole, and then they'd be like, "Hey, I need everybody to stay quiet, please. Quit your moving. And I'm like, this is why I enjoy live golf.
Yeah.
Because they're a little bit more relaxed in that sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm all for it. Like, but nobody else was saying anything. Not even Rory was like telling the crowd to quiet down or stuff like that. So I'm just like, bro, just because you heard a bird chirp doesn't mean you need to like.
Could you quiet the birds for me, please? I appreciate
that. Has always bothered me with PGA guys. And
yes.
I mean, even back before Liv was around, I mean, that's always bothered me with professional golfers, that it has to be 100% quiet and there can't be over 2 decibels going on in the background for them to take a shot. Like, I mean, okay, I'm not going to say that. I almost said something I shouldn't have.
He just told himself a joke. That's what happened.
I just almost said something I shouldn't have. But I mean, I've had dudes pass gas louder than what they're allowed to do while I'm in my backswing. Like I mean, and Tiger is a lot the same way. Like, it's always bothered me about professional golfers that they just have to have absolute silence. And so I mean, I got annoyed a couple of times too. Like there was one time, I don't remember if it was on Saturday or Sunday, but Justin Rose was in his backswing or something, and he heard a camera click, and he threw a fit, and he shanked the drive off to the right, and he turned around and was like berating the dude for like 2 seconds about, get the hell out of here. Like, come on. It's not.
It bothers me. And that's the issue in a lot of ways with golf. Like, even if you go to just some specific clubs, there's this like arrogance about the people. And it's like, this is why people don't like the sport, honestly, because they feel like they don't belong or they can't. And that's what I like about LIV.
Like, it's no fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you? Yeah.
I mean,
be competitive. Have fun. That's what I love about Bryson. Bryson's always in with the crowd, getting crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just fun for me. Like to I don't dislike Bryson DeChambeau at all. And it did suck for me that he got to 11 under and then just kind of the rest of the round was stagnant and just trending down most of the time. And I mean, he ended up with the 2 birdies on the back 9, but then right after he got to 8 under, very next hole, bogey. You know, well, he Rory, had what was the par 5 13th. So after Amen corner, Rory's drive does not put him in a position to reach the green in 2, and Bryson's does. But then Rory goes into the water, takes the penalty into the creek, and Bryson had a chance to just play it safe there and still gain a stroke. Because he was back within 3, and he got like, I mean, again, I love this about Bryson, but he's like, I got to hit the green, and he pulled it and also went in and took the penalty. And I'm like, dang it, that was his chance. The door was open,
but Bryson ended up parring that hole. Still,
he did save the hole, yes, but a birdie would have been so much nicer.
McIlroy went double.
I know. So think about the swing.
Yeah. If he'd have birdied and McIlroy would have doubled, it would have been, what, 7 under and 10 under? So he would – but
I mean, all this to say, as much as Roy annoys me, I was happy to see him get it finally. Like, I
was too. I mean, the quote he had saying, you know, it's been 12, if not 14 years of anguish for me not winning this tournament, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it was cool what he said to his daughter too. I mean, and his daughter has no idea what he said, but just like, don't give up on her dreams. It took me this long, to win this tournament. Like, and that's another thing that's awesome about the Masters and why it's the best golf tournament in the world. It's cool for him that he finally won the Grand Slam, but he just wanted to win that tournament. Like, if he got that tournament without the Grand Slam, that's the tournament you want to win as a golfer.
Yeah.
So, like, and he obviously had a respect for that. And did you see the people trying to make something out about Scheffler and the way he put the jacket on was disrespectful for Rory? I'm like, you guys are just Y'all made me so mad.
So they actually talked about that this morning on the radio because one of the texters asked a question about it. Like, why was Scheffler so angry and so bitter towards Rory for winning the jacket? But the guys that were talking, one of them is Mike Steely of Oklahoma City radio fame, but he's been to the Masters like 10 times. But he said, here's the deal with it. The producers and the staff that you don't see on TV in that room in Butler's cabin while they're doing the jacket ceremony literally want the last year's winner or whatever to put the jacket on them and get out of the way because it's not about them. So that's kind of a tradition that most lay people or whatever just don't understand about that ceremony in Butler's cabin getting the jacket. That being said, I wish they would do that out on the 18th green.
That'd be so cool.
Do it on the 18th green. Put the jacket on Rory or on whoever wins in front of all the fans, just like they do with every other tournament when they hand them the trophy on the 18th green. Do that on the 18th green in front of everybody. But I mean, that's the Masters elite group not wanting to give anything up. And so I understand it because it is tradition, but I think it would be really cool if they ended up doing that on the green in front of they don't call them crowd, they call them the patrons. In front of the patrons.
Fans.
They're so funny listening.
Right. They don't call them fans. Yeah, they call them patrons.
Yeah.
Because we can't go crazy. No.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't know. I'm happy for Rory. The sheer exuberance that he had when he won, falling to the ground, obviously crying, even when he hugged Justin Rose's caddy. Like him and Justin Rosie are friends. But even that, hugging that caddy, like he lost it and cried, hugging Justin Rose's caddy, just sobbing. I love the emotion that comes out of a big win like that. That's why I don't care who's playing in the national championship for basketball or football or baseball. I love watching when they win because just the sheer emotion of it just always gets to me. And like Ant said in our text about the Rory commercial from Nike, like the allergies always get to me.
That's right. I got some allergies. It's crazy in Austin. It just happened to happen right in the middle of the Nike ad. It was weird. On Sunday, everybody has, or most churches do, a period of time, where get up and mingle, say hi to the person next to you, give them a high five, shake their hand or whatever. And we did that, of course, on Sunday, but it was a group of guys that just went into the aisle and started talking about the Masters. And all of them had either a Masters vest on or some kind of golf vest with a polo underneath. Like, you're going to play golf right after this, aren't you? You're not even going to brunch. You're just going straight to golf. This weekend, it is WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas. Night 1 is on Saturday, night 2 on Sunday. I'm going to see if I can't spark up a little WrestleMania conversation in that meet and greet time at church this week and see how that goes.
Yeah, give them one of these.
Probably not as good as
Talking Masters. You can say they didn't see Jesus in the tomb, did they?
That's right. That's totally absolutely. It has been all. I don't know if I mentioned it here. I know we do on the Wrestle Chat podcast. I've mentioned it every time. I don't know who thought of putting WrestleMania weekend on Easter weekend. Clearly, they have no faith at all in anything. And then they put it in Las Vegas, Sin City. That whole group's just going to hell, I think is what's happening. But I'm joking. Chaos. Picking up where it left off, this time in the spring portal. Nico and Maliava at the center of a lot of that chaos. Oklahoma kind of rounding out some of the things that we were missing on the offensive side. You guys have been keeping track more of what's going on in this spring portal than I have. B, you want to kick this thing off and tell me what you're hearing in Oklahoma specifically about the Sooners?
Man, we talked about this in the pre-podcast, chat that we had, but the hopium for OU fans and OU football fans in particular is kind of going crazy right now. I mean, got the big offensive lineman from Stanford committed, and then literally like 3 minutes later, Jadon Ott, the number 1 running back in this year's spring portal, committed to Oklahoma. So it's been a whirlwind. I listen in my earpieces while I'm at work all day to Oklahoma radio, and a radio station that is right on Campus Corner in Norman, right on OU's. Yeah, the ref, right on OU's campus, and they have been going nonstop. Man, it's looking good. And like I told y'all though, in the pre-podcast chat, I mean, seeing is believing for me. Like, we were supposed to be really good last year, had the number 1 quarterback in the country.
And then he started playing.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't.
Then he played the game. That was the problem.
I mean, he was horrible.
It's that whole game thing that threw everything off.
Right. It's the whole playing football thing that screwed everything up.
Had to go and play a game.
Like, oh, man, we actually have to play football. We can't just look good on tape.
Like, man, I've been the number 1 quarterback since I was the backup.
That's right.
Right. Exactly.
Has to take the field.
But, I mean, it's looking really good. Jadon Ott, I mean, kid runs a 4.5 40, and it's funny. They were talking about this today, and they had several people question it. They're like, he runs a 4.5 40, which is stupid fast for someone with his type of vision, his type of football speed. And everybody's like, 4.5? That's not very fast. You're like, are you kidding? Like, that is stupid fast. I mean, you don't see, even in the combines, like for running backs, your normal running backs are running 4.5, 4.7, something like that. Some of your wide receivers are going to run fast, are going to be faster than that. But most of your running backs, and he's not a big guy. He's not a heavy guy. They've had some complaints about that today too, which I'm like, you want Dick Butkus running the ball? You want some 250-pound running back? No.
You want a 300-pounder running a 4.4. Got it.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, and that's
Let
what it
me go
came
to
out
the PlayStation.
It's just exactly in Max.
Exactly. I'm going to create. I got to go to create a player.
You have to create
exactly.
a player. These are the same guys that would tear a quad in a warm up too.
Dude, and they would tear a quad walking to the warm up.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I'm excited. I'm ready for it to happen. Like I said, I have no expectations going into this season until they prove me otherwise. We're winning 7 games, and that's what I'm going to go with. I mean, like I said earlier, the Tennessee game I feel has gotten much more attainable without Nico Iamaleava, because they're kind of struggling to find a quarterback. They all say, "Oh, well, we had backups that could have produced exactly what he produced last year," and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, he was a good quarterback. He was not spectacular like they build him to be preseason and early on in the non-conference. But I mean, we have the number 1 quarterback in John Mateer in the portal this year. We have the number 1 running back in Jadon. Jadon Ott. I just lost his last name. I almost said Jadon Blue, and I knew that wasn't right. Jadon Ott. And then we got a very serviceable offensive lineman. Sounds like what they're looking for now is tight end. There's the big tight end out of Wisconsin, but I don't think we're really too far in on him. They've talked to him, but it sounds like they spent so much money on Mateer and Ott that they probably don't have just a ton more money. They would like to get another tight end. They would like to get another wide receiver. They would like to get another defensive back / cornerback, but I don't know that that's going to happen. All that being said is, I don't know. We'll see come September.
That's right. Wait till we actually play a game. See what we have.
Yeah. I mean, week 2 we have Michigan coming to the Palace on the Prairie, so that'll be a nice early season test. But
sure,
I don't know how good Michigan's going to be. Sounds like they're going to be starting a true freshman quarterback. So I mean, I don't know how good they're going to be. So we'll
they're
just have to
only
wait and see.
really good when they play Ohio State. I mean,
yeah, you're not wrong.
They might lose all season. If they can win that one, they're good. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the sounds that are coming out of Norman right now from the media people. I mean, it sounds like the offense is really clicking in spring practice. Sounds like our defense, they feel like, is better than it was last year, and we lost quite a bit. But it sounds like our defense, even being better than they were last year, can't contain our offense, which it didn't take much for them last year to contain that offense. But this year, they're having problems containing the offense, and they feel like the offense is winning practice most of the time. I'd rather see that and not have a real good defense. I just want some points to be scored.
Yeah.
And to hold on to the ball. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's coming up. Still like 3 months away, but maybe 4 months away, really. But
you need if you need a few laughs before college football returns, Lane Kiffin is on the Theo Vaughn podcast this week. If you get a chance, watch it. I think sometimes, and I think this is most normal people, they don't know what to do with Theo Vaughn. And I think it's kind of like that a little bit in some instances with Lane Kiffin, but has it
already posted?
Yeah, it's posted. I watched about half of it today.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, check that out. NBA playoffs, play-ins for the playoffs are underway right now. Let's go to the basketball guy, Dalton Miller. How are you feeling about Oklahoma City Thunder once the playoffs start?
I'm feeling really good. I'm excited about the playoffs. I mean, I was excited last year, but this is the first time since the year Oklahoma City made the finals with the Durant, the Harden, the Westbrook, Ibaka, that I really believe this team can do something in the playoffs, because we all know from watching, it doesn't mean anything just to get to the Western Finals, right? You got to win the Western Finals. You got to get to the NBA Finals. Just for every fan out there that hasn't paid attention or doesn't watch until they watch the playoffs, please know it's going to be reffed completely different. It's going to be way more physical. It's going to look a lot different than regular season. But I think Oklahoma City's roster plays well for that. I'll say the Western Finals is where I'm scared. I think Oklahoma City can handle Denver in a 7-game series. Yes, the Joker's really, really good. But I think Oklahoma City's roster is built right now to handle Denver in a 7-game series. I'm nervous about LA, and we mentioned it a while ago, purely because of the story. LeBron is going to be motivated to win another one. Obviously playing with Luka. And I feel like Dallas just keeps throwing things on the fire, like to build this up for Luka, to the point where now they're reporting Dirk Nowitzki's come out against the Dallas Mavs Association. And they just put a statue up of this dude.
Yeah.
And so, like, that I don't feel good about.
Yeah.
Because I already know, I mean, I've seen it for years. NBA playoffs are different. And so that scares me a little bit about the Western Finals. I could see that for sure going to 7 games. Oklahoma City with the home court advantage, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that Oklahoma City really does have they're in the playoffs, in my opinion. They're a top 3 team. They're going to be the number 1 overall seed. So if they can get there, just because they finished stronger than Cleveland, I'm pretty sure. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they've got the number 1 overall seed. So they'll have, Game 7 in the finals back in Oklahoma City. So I think that just the way Sam Presti's been able to get this team to where they're at, Oklahoma City's going to have a shot in this playoff series.
You brought up on the whole reffing thing, and do you think Oklahoma has an advantage of the way it's reffed in the regular season, or how it is in the postseason?
I don't know. I think maybe a little bit of an advantage just because Shea is going to get calls, honestly. He's really good at getting to his spots, and he's, the MVP type player in the league.
Should win the MVP.
Should. My biggest fear seriously comes in the Western Finals against the Lakers, because I know Luka and LeBron are going to get everything. And that's just, maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen the story over and over again. You're not going to be able to defend them, so you're going to have to outscore them. So I don't know. I don't know if I think that it necessarily favors Oklahoma City.
Sure.
I think that it will. I think Shea for sure is going to get calls. And then just the style. I mean, they play. I mean, Shea does go on streaks where you can't stop him, regardless. 1-on-2, 1-on-3, he's going to get to a spot. He's going to get a bucket, or he's going to get to the foul line. But Oklahoma City does share the ball so well. They have 3 or 4 guys that are capable of going off, and that favors them in the playoffs because you're not relying just on one guy.
I think the difference in the playoffs for the Thunder is going to be who is that second and third guy that step up on offense. We know J-Dub has the capability to step up on offense, but when he gets under these pressure situations like we're going to be under, being the number 1 overall seed, is he going to be able to do it? Are we going to have, some guys, whether it be Caruso or Dort or any of these other guys, Chet even, that can step up and go for, 14, 16 points a game to actually give Shea some rest and some time where he doesn't have to be the guy that does everything. He is obviously, in my opinion, he should win the MVP this year. I think he will, but he should win the MVP this year. To me, it boils down to the supporting cast. And if the supporting cast does their job, then I think the Thunder have a really good chance of going all the way. Dalton, let me ask you this. Is the finals good enough for you, or is it a disappointment if they don't win the championship this year?
Yeah, I mean, will I be disappointed? Yes, but do I think that that's a disappointing season for Oklahoma City? No, I'm not one of those fans that thinks, well, you didn't win, you made it to the finals and lost, so that's disappointing. I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I'm sure there will be a lot of takes that think that. I'll be disappointed, yes, but that doesn't discredit how good they were this season.
So who's the one team in the East that you would rather not face in the final? Is it Boston?
Boston, yeah, that's the only team.
To me, that is the only team.
Yes, but Cleveland's the number 1 team in the East, and I'm not afraid of them in a 7-game series.
I'm not either. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of the Knicks, who are the number 3 seed. I'm not afraid of the Pacers, who are the number 4 seed. I really would just like Boston to be upset before the finals. If we can get to the finals, then, and it's not Boston, then I really like our chances of winning the whole thing. If it is Boston, then it's going to be a dogfight. I can see it going.
That's another thing that favors Oklahoma City, though, is Boston's the 2 seed in the East, which means Oklahoma City's going to get, at the very least, if they can get to Game 7, they're ending their season in Oklahoma City, which favors Oklahoma City. Because
it doesn't matter who from the East comes out. If it gets to 7 games, we're playing at home in Game 7.
100%. But I think that I think Oklahoma City can beat Cleveland in 5 or 6. I really do. Boston is the one that I think gets back to Oklahoma City for Game 7. I think if it's Boston, then Oklahoma City will have 2 back-to-back 7-game series, because I'll be shocked if Oklahoma City can beat the Lakers in 5 or 6. I don't think the NBA will allow it. There's too much money there.
That's going to be the thing. If it was not NBA pulled with the officials and everything, I think they could beat them in probably 6. But I agree with you. The NBA is going to give the Lakers – the Lakers are going to have the home court advantage when it comes to the officials, no matter what.
Well, and that's the thing is Oklahoma City, to start the Western Finals this year, needs to go 2-0.
Yep.
They need to go on the road up 2, because then you've got 2 chances to take a 3-1 lead.
Yeah,
and that is everything. I mean, that guarantees Game 7. So that's everything for the Thunder at that point. And I mean, to me, that the difference maker is going to be Lou Dort. He's a playoff player, in my opinion. Even back to when we lost in Game 7 in the first round of Houston, when I thought we had him beat, and Dort hit 6 threes, and he shot horrible from 3 that year. He's shooting 41% from 3. He's relentless on defense, and his memory is gone. Like the moment he makes a great play or a bad play, he's on to the next play, and that's exactly what you need in the playoffs. Like, don't be surprised if Dort has 2 or 3 games where he goes off for 5, 6, or 7 threes, because other teams won't expect it. And of course, you want Dort shooting rather than Shea or Wallace or Dub. So
yeah,
don't be surprised if Dort, catches fire from 3 specifically and finds himself with 20 to 24 points in a game.
I agree.
Playoffs start this weekend, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. There you go. Winding down the season, both on that, and we don't talk hockey here, but we're getting close on there as well. And the only reason I bring them up is because I do some work with the Capitals, and they're doing really well this year. So,
oh, there you go,
Washington Capitals. So, it'll be fun. Something that we thought they were just looking stellar. Batting averages were well above 500 in some instances for the Oklahoma Sooners in softball. However, things have taken a turn. And of course, if they're already good and you take a turn, there's nowhere to go but down. And that's kind of where we see the ladies right now, don't we, Brandon?
Man, I'm going to kind of be like Patty was in her interviews this week after going to Alabama. We went 1-2, had a huge 7th inning in the game on Saturday. We played Saturday, Sunday, Monday this week, which is different, but had a huge 7th inning at Alabama. Ended up winning that game. Then we scored 1 run in the other 2 games. We scored 1 run each in the other 2 games and just absolutely looked abysmal. I mean, we literally did. I had this math right here. Let me see if I still have it pulled up. Yeah, we batted 185 this week total.
Under
in
200.
the 3. Under 200, under 190 against Alabama.
Yikes.
And, I mean, we still have plenty of players batting over 300.
Yeah.
I mean, most
but
of
not
them
nearly
are,
enough. Yeah.
No. And Ella Parker, she did hit a home run on Saturday. But Ella Parker in SEC play is batting like .070.
Okay.
You remember earlier in the season, she was batting almost 700.
And that's who I was referring to.
Her batting average now is down to 380.
Wow.
And it's just been absolutely abysmal. Cassidy Pickering, she is on a 15 or 16 game hitting streak.
Okay.
She is on fire. And they've moved her to leadoff, which I understand because she is on this hitting streak. But she, in my opinion, she bats better with runners on and runners ahead of her. I don't really like her being in the leadoff position, but I mean, I've said it 100 times. I'll question stuff during the game, and then I got to think myself. I mean, I'm questioning Natty Patty.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, she's won 4 in a row.
Then you calm down a little bit. Yeah.
And 5 out of the last 6 or 7. I mean, she's ridiculous. She is by far the best coach, in my opinion, in the history of women's softball. Yeah. But I mean, batting averages are bad. Pitching has not been horrible. The problem is we don't really have a number 2 pitcher that's just stepped up. We have Sam Landry, who her ERA is 1.77. She's done great. She's got 114 strikeouts and only given up 17 walks this season. So 114 to 17 is great. But she's not getting the run support from the offense that we have always, I shouldn't say always, that we have had for the last several years.
Yeah.
And so, she gives up 2 runs in a game and loses 2-1. That's what happened on Sunday. We lost 2-1 because we had 0 bats because we literally batted like .09 on Sunday. It was awful. So this weekend, I mean, listen, Oklahoma's still 36-5.
Sure.
They've lost five games all year. But
Four, right? That's what NCAA has them as rankings, 36-4. So I wasn't sure.
Oh,
no, they're 36-5 after Monday.
Okay.
But that being said, because they lost 2 to Tennessee, they lost 1 to Missouri, and they lost 2 to who did we play last week? Alabama.
Yeah. Okay.
So they've lost 5. But I mean, that being said, they go to Mississippi State, or they play at home this week against Mississippi State, which is, listen, it's an SEC team, but it's one of the bottom SEC teams. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. One of those 5 was beating Texas, which Texas was the number 1 team in the country at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But Texas has kind of gone on a little slide lately too. Oklahoma dropped to number 4 in the rankings this week, which I still think is about probably 4 or 5 spots too high. I think they should be somewhere between like 8 and 12. I think they're kind of overrated right now, but their name is Oklahoma. I mean, that would be like not ranking Alabama football in the top 25 to start the season. You know, I mean, that's just what happens.
Silly. Yeah.
I don't think right now they're in a good spot to win a regional, to get a home regional. I think they'll go to a regional, but they may not be at home because we still have a Mississippi State this weekend. We have no more midweek games, which we've had up until this point in the season. We've had a midweek, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday game every week. They have no more midweek games. We have Mississippi State this weekend at home. Then we have Florida, or then we have Texas on the road,
Florida.
and then Florida. And so, I mean, in theory, we could really go 3-6 in our last 9 games, which would not be good and would definitely not get a regional. We're going to have to win some of those games against Florida and Texas to get a home regional and to actually get that spot at home to make our way towards the College World Series. It's going to be a rough go this year. They really have to turn around. At one point on Saturday, I thought, oh, we finally hit it in the 7th inning. We're going to turn this around. They're going to get some momentum. And then they came out with 2 hits on Sunday, scored 1 run. I mean, Dalton and I were texting during one of the games, and we were shut out at that point. And then Maya Bland hits a home run. And I'm like, well, we haven't been shut out now since 1999. So he was like, well, that's something. But
you turn the batting around. It could change the season, though, right here. I mean, right now, if you go from the beginning of the season to now, it looks like, and you put them on a graph, I put that batting averages on a graph, it looks like that the Sooners got a tariff dropped on them. And
looks like they fell off a cliff.
Turn everything around. Yeah. They can turn those bats around. It could change here towards the end of the season.
You know, nice. The RPI is really low this year. We did not play a tough non-conference like we normally do.
Sure.
So we played some really easy non-conference. We
Maybe
got
some
a lot
false hope at the beginning too.
Exactly. We got a lot of false hope, and we got a lot of run rules early on in the season. That's just not happening when you get into SEC play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think they're good enough. I think they're just young. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And Patty has said multiple times, I love it. I'm actually getting to coach this year, because the last few years, I mean, she's had 5, 6, 7 All-Americans on her team every year. I mean, she's not coaching. They know what they're supposed to do. They just go and do it. But so she's actually having to coach some this year, and she hadn't done that in a long time. So I kind of feel like she's a little rusty coaching, actually doing the coaching part, because she hadn't really had to do it. It's just been like rinse and repeat, you know? So we'll see what happens going on. I'm still a big softball fan. Dalton's actually going to be in Corpus next week when we play Texas for that Texas series. So he's going to get to hang out with us during 3 OU Texas softball games and see what happens. But it's not looking great right now. We'll make the postseason. but we're going to have to go on the road and win a regional and on the road and win a super regional to be able to get back to Oklahoma City again.
Yeah, sure. Lots to do this weekend. Lots of family time, I hope, for you and your family. But if you get tired of them, you got plenty of sports and plenty of things to watch them too. So
there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, sure is.
There's definitely a lot of things going on. Football portal cooking, should be going solid for the next, I think it's next 9 days, because it's really 10 days long. Is that right, Dalton? I think the portal's
I'm not
10
sure.
days
I actually
long.
don't know. Okay.
I think it is. And this is really just only day one, because yesterday was not an actual day that you could sign somebody on the coach's side. I mean,
just where you made news. That's all.
At 12:02 a.m., I feel like we signed a couple people, but
yeah.
But transfer portal, you got NBA basketball, you got softball. I'm sure there's a golf tournament this weekend. I haven't even looked. Once the Masters was
The
over,
Heritage, RBC Heritage.
Oh, the Heritage. Okay.
Nice.
So there's plenty to go on this weekend when you're not doing your Easter egg hunts with your little ones and you're not just hanging out with your friends. You can watch some sports, or you can just have a good weekend. Guys,
or tune into us.
Hopefully you've watched us before then. But if you haven't, there's going to be a 42-minute podcast on that you can watch.
That's right.
And, laugh at the guys that think they know what they're talking about.
And if you're getting this, you've already watched it. So thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
thank you. Peace. Thank you. Guys, you know what they say, right?
The weekend is good.
See if I remember. But the midweek is always better.
And boom goes the dynamite.